In the ancient texts of the Bible, the stories of Martha, Mary Magdalene, Lazarus, and Jesus have been told and retold for centuries. However, there are aspects of these narratives that have been overshadowed by misconceptions and misinterpretations on both the sides of religious sects and the mystical teachings. Through this story, we expose the deeper lives of Martha and Mary Magdalene, shedding light on their true roles and significance in the life and legacy of Jesus Christ. The meeting of Martha and Jesus. In the town of Bethany, there lived two sisters, Martha and Mary. Martha, the elder sister, was known for her industrious nature and strong sense of responsibility. Mary, on the other hand, was known for her quiet and contemplative demeanor. They both possessed a gentle spirit and a deep love for healing knowledge. But it was Martha who was Mary's teacher. It was in their home that Jesus found refuge during his travels. It was Martha who welcomed Jesus into her home, not Mary. Martha's hospitality and caring nature were evident as she busied herself with preparing a meal for their honored guest, while Mary sat at Jesus' feet, listening intently to his teachings. As Jesus spoke, Martha, wanting to join, became overwhelmed with the many tasks at hand. She approached Jesus and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me." Jesus replied, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her." This interaction between Martha and Jesus has often been interpreted as a rebuke towards Martha's busyness and a commendation of Mary's contemplative nature. However, it is simply his wish for Mary to listen, because that is what she needs at that time, his knowledge, and that shall not be taken from her. A closer examination reveals a deeper truth, a recognition of both women's unique qualities, contributions, and complicated friendships with Jesus Christ. Many spiritualists diminish Martha's role as a healer mostly because they are unaware of how deep Martha and Jesus' relationship union was. Martha's sense of urgency and practicality when she implored Jesus to come and heal her brother Lazarus is the only time the Bible shows the intimacy of their relationship. Jesus does not spite Martha for her worrying nature. Rather, he appreciates her abilities, diplomacy, and resources. She is a strong ally in his mission. Martha was not just a hostess, but a confidante and muse to Jesus. Her wisdom and leadership in the entire community were instrumental in the spreading of his teachings at that time. Now, let's shed light on the bond between Martha and Mary Magdalene, their sisterhood, and the profound impact they both had on the life of Jesus. Martha and Mary were sisters, two halves of the divine feminine whole. Martha, the pragmatic and crafty one, owned the home where Jesus sought refuge. It was her hospitality and care that nurtured the Savior. Mary, the contemplative and intuitive one, sat at Jesus' feet, captivated by his teachings and showing love with her powerful sense of presence. While Mary's passive nature was often praised, it was Martha's urgent action that helped save her brother Lazarus and later Jesus himself from the clutches of death. Martha, being a healer herself, is unable to stand in her faith after her attempt to save her brother apparently fails, and she is upset when Jesus arrives 3 days late. Christ understood this as her nature. He did not view her actions and words as a slight of any kind. He only empathized with her pain and confusion during her time of grief and unknowing. After the crucifixion of Christ, he was nursed back to life by Martha, Mary, and the Divine Mother Mary. Martha's vast knowledge of medicinal herbs and her courage to defy the persecutors of Christ are what truly healed and saved Jesus in his darkest hour. They wrapped his body in 3 healing herbs: frankincense, myrrh, and the third unknown. After 3 days of which he literally rose from the dead, just as Lazarus had done, Martha then used her diplomacy skills and resources within her community to help Jesus achieve a new identity and start a new life with her sister as his wife. That's right, Mary Magdalene, often reduced to the label of whore, was in fact the beloved companion of Christ. Their intimate relationship produced descendants who would carry on Jesus' legacy. The biblical scholars chose to ignore this, preferring to uphold the notion of Jesus' chastity and solitude. As well, the mystics choose to ignore Martha's role in this divine process simply out of ignorance. Martha was the head of her household, a woman of great strength and determination. Jesus held her in the highest regard, considering her a friend and a trusted disciple. Yes, you heard that right. It has long been speculated that Mary Magdalene is the female disciple depicted in Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper. Let the last message of this video be that Martha is the female disciple depicted in the Last Supper, honoring Martha, a side of the divine feminine power, and the role she plays in the legacy of Christ is what will bring the honest harmonizing of the female psyche and ego. In truth, Martha and Mary represented the duality of the Sigma female, the leader and the mystic, the doer and the dreamer. Together, they embodied the divine feminine that complemented and inspired the ministry of Jesus. Though the influences of the world may have sought to diminish their roles and their sisterly bond, both Martha and Mary each played their divine roles in the living legacy of the Son of God, Jesus Christ.